Okay, so let's start. Hello everyone again. Thank you for joining my session. My name is Nika. I'm part of the communications work stream of WASM, and I'm also an international commissioner of the Scouts of Ukraine. And today, or tonight, depending on where you are, for the next 45 minutes, I would like to tell you how to make sure that Scouts in your Scout group, in your Scout patrol, they stay connected, they are engaged, they are active in your Scout life online when you stay at home. So if you have any questions during my session, please write them in the questions and answers section in the bottom of your screen. So, let's start right now. Whether you are a young person, whether you are an adult, I'm sure you'll discover, I hope you will discover something new today. So more specifically, today we will try to learn how to improve the online life of your group, how to help them stay connected during this lockdown. We will also get new ideas for activities and try to get inspired, to be inspired and share your ideas. I would really want to hear from you, to read your ideas as well. If you feel inspired and you have a new idea coming to you, please share with me in the end of this session. So though you will be able to watch this presentation, to re-watch this presentation afterwards in a recording, I recommend you to have now your phone or a pen and a paper to write things down, the things that you find interesting, so just for you to save them straight away. So let's start from the very beginning, of course, from planning. As sure thing, the whole process should start from planning. Explore the online services, the online resources you have, see what you can use and with what purpose, so that you can use the resources that fit you for your activities. Onboard more people, as regardless of whether you are a young person, a scout, or an adult, a leader running a group, you cannot really run all these activities yourself for everyone. Ask other members of your group, maybe involve some parents as well, and share the responsibilities to make this process efficient. To run the activities that need to be planned in advance, you can organize, for example, a survey, to choose a time, a day suitable for everyone, or like have a vote on the activities the group members want to do. For me, for example, it's how ask the boy. So it is really needed to get the whole group involved in planning activities. So like a survey to ask people what their talents are, for example, if you don't know what they want to do. That's also very important. So that's the way how they can feel the ownership of this project. Then create a schedule so that the activities are easy to follow and no one misses anything, like if he or she wants to participate really. And of course, make sure you communicate this plan clearly. The first activity I would like to tell you about is really super obvious, but nevertheless, I'll mention those as well. A morning workout, as everyone knows, that even a simple exercising in the morning or in the evening, whenever you want, keeps you energized, and we really need it, especially when we are all locked down, to stay healthy. And a great way to make exercising easier is to have your friends, your group, your patrol with you. So do it together to keep each other accountable, But to start this practice, make sure, and to make it your group routine, you definitely need to make sure that you have the right person to start, who can start the whole process, who knows how to do it properly and the right way. And also he or she can make this process enjoyable and entertaining. And furthermore, maybe in your group you have parents, for example, who practice yoga. That's, for instance, an example of my own Scout group. Or like other sports, and they can take your morning group routine to a new level. So be creative, change the activities, try different sports to keep it exciting for everyone, for every member. Good news CV, that's definitely something as well we need nowadays to keep ourselves in good mental health, as we can be really overcrowded with bad news. And this activity is super easy. So just to share the latest good news you heard, or you can have a presenter for this morning show, Good news, nowadays they are fairly easy to find. For example, on an environmental point of view, like about pollution, which is down, animals coming back in the areas they were not seeing before in a long time, etc. Solidarity actions that the community is doing, they are also great news you can find fairly easy. So change roles, involve more people, involve more scouts in your scout group. Maybe it might grow, you know, into a morning TV program, not only for your group, but for your NSO, for example. Talk about different topics, talk about animals, talk about weather. I mean, be creative. The next activity I have for you is to have a meal together, to have lunch together. This is a very fun activity which can include really lots of levels, lots of stages. For example, have a cooking contest show when everyone is cooking together in Zoom or in Skype, like in a video call, following the instructions of one person. Then you see who cooked what. And in this case, just pick simple recipes so that everyone stays at home, right? So with no need to go like additional shopping. So share this list of products in advance beforehand. You can also go further, and while picking some simple recipes, you can pick the recipes from other countries. So, you know, like to wear costumes, so on. So be creative, and I'm sure the group will definitely like it. Anyway, and easier, there's of course an easy version of this activity is just to eat together. So to have lunch together, you know, like just creating this environment of friends staying connected. After we ate, it's time to explore something new, right? As you probably heard, many of the world's great museums are now available on screen. From the Louvre to British Museum, most of the exhibitions are now available online for free. So if you have an art lover or a good narrator in your group, it's definitely for you, as this person can make you fall in love with some pieces of art and tell their story, let your group learn something new, but just make sure this person takes a tour before the group, right, to prepare everything, because otherwise it might be quite boring. Moving on, a very interesting activity. I like it, to be honest, a lot. A peek into each other's homes, but in the beginning, of course, make sure that everyone is comfortable with this activity, as this exercise requires that like young people, that friends virtually open their homes to one another. So, you know, probably you've seen in YouTube how stars, how celebrities do tours in their houses. So you can like show to your group your favorite objects, share some stories about your flat, about your room, your desk, etc. This activity really allows members to get to know one another on a more, you know, personal basis, and can lead to feeling of welcomeness, of deeper friendship, and so on. So it's really a nice thing to try as well with your scout group. Learn about scouting in other countries. That's also quite obvious, right? That's what we actually do during Jota Joti every year, but why not to do it more often with your scout group if you have friends abroad? So one way to do it is to invite just a scout or your connection from abroad to a video call of your group, and let them talk about their country, about scouting, etc., or make it video call, so that you can really introduce your friends to your group, etc. So it's truly exciting, truly entertaining. Be creative as well, invite new people every time, and you can also practice other languages, right? Handmade group sessions. That's also something that can be really, really cool and really useful for you, for your group, for your community. First of all, like it's something like have a video call where you all do masks, for example, for people, or eco bags from, for example, old t-shirts, etc. So in this way, you can try to learn how to be more sustainable, share the recipes of handmade soaps, handmade shampoos, so like natural cosmetics. For example, you can use your old clothes to create tawashi sponges, you know, like sponges from old clothes. You can also do some community service, for example, make postcards or letters to elderly people in your area, or like anything. You can try and organize a call with an elderly house if you have this opportunity. So like, you know, engage more in the community in this hard time. So again, that's a huge area of to discover, to try lots of new things and to create new things. Learn new languages. That's something we mentioned. I mentioned already while talking to other people abroad, right, during the video call. But it can be not only like foreign languages, Spanish, Swahili, etc. For example, you can learn sign languages, right? Or you can learn Morse code or NATO phonetic alphabet. If you haven't heard of it, that's there is a picture on my slide about it. So when each letter means actually. You don't use a letter, you use a word starting with this letter. So look for entertaining ways to do it online. There are lots of resources, for example, for Morse code. This is a very cool resource. You can like just have a look. As you can see on the pictures, in this resource, you can learn actually the code using some pictures. As you can see, the letter I for insect, those are 2 dots here, like insect's eye, etc. So it's really entertaining, it's really fun, it's definitely not boring. So again, find something that will be interesting for your group. Sure thing, like for sign language, you might need more time, but like Morse code can be a fun activity, and you can try to use it then in your group chat, for example, right? Exchanging hidden messages and so on. Next, my next activity I would like to mention here is to create your trips diary or chronicle or vlog, whatever you call it, whatever you want to do. I don't know whether you guys do it in Ukraine, for example. Lots of groups, almost every patrol, every group have their chronicle of the life of their group, their patrol. So it's definitely worth trying, you know, to describe all the events that are happening now in the world and how you're running activities from home, how you're dealing with the situation, how you're helping people. And with the online tools like Dropbox, like Google Documents, right? The whole patrol can do it together and add pictures. You can also share responsibilities for different chapters. So it will be really, it might be really an interesting read later on when it's all over. So also something to think about, to do all together. We can also run cool challenges, right? As you probably heard, I hope you've heard of the Epic Blanket Tent Challenge on Facebook and on social media of WASM that was launched some days ago before the Joti. And it's just one of the ways to do something fun together while being far from each other. So you can create a cool challenge with your group and just start it in your group or maybe in your country, in your NSO. I was talking recently, like when we launched Epic Blanket Tent Challenge, I was talking to the IC International Commissioner of Estonia about this challenge, and he told me that they launched it on a national level earlier, and they started getting pictures and videos of those blanket tents, you know, not only from scouts, but just like from ordinary people outside of the movement. So that's really fantastic. That's really cool. That's really about image, you know, and involvement. You can also have several items on the list. So like to launch a challenge where you have different items. So for example, like learn a part of a song or learn how to use a new musical instrument or learn 7 notes. So this kind of things, and just share it. And people, it's really engaging. It's really cool when you have free time. So that's also educational in most of the cases. After all these activities, we can calm down a bit, right? Relax and watch a movie together. It's also quite obvious, but it's a really nice and calm activity for the evening, not to feel alone. You can share the screen, you can just synchronize the movie. You can use online services to watch it together. You can see on the slides, I have some the names of the sites, of the resources where you can do it, like Watch Together or 27. So just have a look when you have time. But again, it doesn't really need super technology. You can just share your screen in Skype or in Zoom, or just synchronize the movie. Just keep your chat, your instant messaging chat box open so that group members can comment during the movie, you know, exchange opinions, and then discussing the movie actually after you've seen it. That would be also engaging for the team, and the movie would add some fun, you know, and decompression time. Another fun thing to do as a musical instrument contest. So for example, everyone has a task for the next meeting to prepare a little performance. You can also turn on the sound of the campfire, you know, the background if you're playing the guitar to make it all cozy. Or alternatively, it's easier, if it's easier for you, you can do it in a video format or just exchange the videos with your group. You can also make cool videos to have fun for future sharing, and I have a very cool example for you on that. So how scouts do this in different countries. I have a thing, just a piece of the whole video which really made my day. It's from Scouts of Spain. I would like to share it with you to let you see a little piece of it, just how they made it, what they did.
Quédate con la copla que no se te acaba el tiempo. Se acumulan para luego los besos que no se dieron. Un varón que nos sitúa, nos recuerda, nos ayuda. El valor de las personas es mayor cuando se suman. No puedo esperar menos de ti. Sé que tú esperas lo mismo de mí, lo mismo de mí. Quédate, quédate en tu casa, quédate, quédate en tu casa, vecino. Tómate un respiro. Quédate en tu casa, quédate en tu casa conmigo. Será algo más sencillo.
I hope it wasn't too loud. So yeah, it really made my day. I think it's amazing. You can find the full version in their social networks or YouTube, but that's just one idea, how to make fun together, how to stay connected, and you can then share this piece of art further in your NSO or just with general public. I think that's really, really cool, and it's really engaging. Like you really feel part of this big project, you know. So on this note, I would like to go to another subtopic of our session. That's about online games. So we talked a bit about activities in general, what we can do with our Scout group. Here, it's more about games you can play together, some online resources, or just fun activities for your video call, but games. So of course, probably the most popular choice is to play Kahoot. Many presenters enjoy to use it for their presentations. I hope you played with some of them. So that's a really cool resource. If you don't know it, here's the link. Please check it out. It's a free game-based learning platform. So Kahoots, they are multiple choices quizzes that are user-generated. So you need just one responsible who will prepare this quiz. But again, if you feel lazy, you can access thousands of already made quizzes, which you can find on the website. So you just need to choose a topic and play together. You can use your phone, your laptop. It can be in the app, it can be in the browser. So that's a really, really cool resource. So if you haven't used it yet, I really, really recommend you to try it. Another thing to try is to make some online competitions. Here's just one example, typing test. It's a nice resource. So you also have a link on the screen. So you just go there, you type, and the timer shows your speed, typing speed. So the most competitive members of your group, of your patrol, the more they are competitive, the more they will like it, and they will join the competition and share their results. You can then up the challenge by hosting a typing speed relay, which is when you form squads, you form like patrols and add up the cumulative scores, so to see which team wins. And that's something really to organize in between the groups or in between the patrols. That's also something cool. And with this, you can also learn how to type faster. But this resource is for English language, but you can explore and find something for your language if your language is different. Moreover, you can also look for some serious games, like just type educational game sites. That's the perfect search combination, search expression. There are many games designed to teach you skills like learning the basics of computer science or coding, and a lot of them are available for free. So here's just a picture of a number of websites that can give you such educational activities, so games, but to learn something new, to have a new skill. So that's also something to check out, and you will definitely find something that is interesting for you. One of the activities as well you can organize, one of the games you can organize for your Scout group is a household scavenger hunt. I really like scavenger hunts. Usually like we do it outdoors in the nature, looking for like bugs or leaves, etc. But why not to play it indoors? So each person, you give the group a list of objects to show, for example, during the call. So they need to find them at home in their flat as fast as possible. It's not really educational, but it's really, really entertaining. It's really competitive. So just you have a list, or you just say a word out loud, okay, a ketchup, and everyone goes and looks for a ketchup. Just please be careful, right? Be careful, don't run too fast, because it can be really injuring, can be dangerous. Another game, a particular game I want to mention here it is called Can You Hear Me Now? You probably heard something similar, but just playing offline. So you nominate one person to be the speaker, and the rest are the artists, so they draw. The speaker, he or she can use just a random image generator. There are plenty of options online, or he or she can just pick a suitable image, a suitable picture, and the goal is to describe this image in such a way that the artists can draw it successfully. But the one guideline, again, there are different rules. The one guideline that makes this task challenging is that the speaker must only use geometric shapes and positions. So for example, you could say, draw a large circle and then 2 triangles on the top. So, but not like write the letter E or something. So by limiting instructions, the speaker needs to exercise extremely accurate communication skills, and the artists, they need to listen, to interpret. So it's a cool game to develop effective online communication, if you wish, and it's also really, really fun. So in the end, you can show the pictures and see who wins, who really drew something that was needed. And the last game in this part, also a particular game, which is called a guilty pleasure bracket. It's also a game to play together, for example, during a video call. So each team member anonymously shares 2 or 3 of their guiltiest pleasures. It can be like a never missing an episode of something, The Witcher, or being a secret fan of Elton John, or something like this. So just get those results compiled in one file, and then people just guess who is who and learn new things about each other. There are many other rules of this game, this activity, so it's just up to you to make it entertaining and engaging for you, for your group, for your patrol, for your friends. Okay, let's now switch to the last subtopic of my presentation. So that's about activities for your group chart, right? So I'm sure most of you keep in touch with your patrol, with your group, with your friends. If you're an adult, your leaders team, in a chat or like in a certain messenger, or you might have, for example, one common chat for everyone in the group. So here's how you can shake it up a bit, activate members. One of the things you might do is send logic riddles, mind trick questions. So just once in a while to initiate the discussion. You will see how engaging really and activating it might be, depending really on the task. So here, for example, right, you can see it belongs to you, but others use it more often. What is it? You can actually give the ideas in the questions and answers session if you want, because I'm talking a lot and you're not typing anything, so you can now type the answer. So that's a really kind of short one and a really kind of an easy one, but again, it can be made of several parts, so it can be a huge like logical riddle with different stages and so on. There are plenty of resources again online. So again, something to use, something to try out. Next activity, I just compiled several things here in one slide, while like under the name of exchanging positive vibes. It can include just sending a voice message to your chat to cheer people up, making nice videos to share in the chat, draw pictures for each other, or just write email. So it's not really about the chat, but for example, anonymously. There are again resources to do it. So the goal is to stay positive, to keep this positive vibes, to cheer each other up. So that's everything about it, helping each other feel part of the family. Again, just find something that will work for your particular group, for your particular patrol. As for the picture sharing, by the way, the next thing I wanna, as you can see, it's also under exchange positive vibes. Try to have thematic days, or just a separate chat if you want, or thematic days in a common chat for exchanging messages on a specific topic. Because picture sharing really bonds people with little effort. It can facilitate laughter and surprising responses, you know, that will appear. They will leave young people feeling happy, feeling connected. These photos can contain pets, for example, right? Like here on my slide, or babies' pictures. So all the group members share their pictures when they were kids, like kids, real kids, like babies. You can share pictures of your books, favorite books, films, you doing hobbies, etc. So just, you know, as I already said before, allowing members to share part of their personal lives, that makes your Scout group's life more fun and can really bring a deeper friendship to the group. So, and the last activity I want to share here, it is called an alphabet game. Again, that's another activity you can use in your group chat. It's quite similar to a scavenger hunt we've mentioned earlier, but it's easy to do in the chat. So every morning, for example, one person posts a letter of the alphabet, and the rest should post a picture of something in their house that begins with this letter. So the catch here is that the item cannot be repeated. So for example, if the letter is H, only one person can take a picture of a hat and post it. So that's how it goes. And it can be, you can make the task more difficult. You can post two letters in a row, right? So like to have DE, for example, and the group should look for objects in their flat or whenever they are in their room, starting with those two letters, but it is not allowed to show the same object. So again, it's very simple, very easy, but it's very engaging. And it really depends on you. You should really think what might work for your group. This is really just a tiny part of everything that you can find online. So I just compiled some things that were interesting to me. I found interesting, or I saw them working in my own Scout group or in my National Scout organization or somewhere online in a post of my friends. So again, it's up to you to, for example, in my Scout group, we launched a survey to understand what people really want to do. So again, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's really important so that everyone feels being a part of this joint project, of this activity. So try it out and find something that fits you. And now it's really your turn. I really want to hear from you. Your turn to tell us whether you have in mind any activities. So while you are thinking, again, I want to stress that everything I mentioned today can be done not only in your Scout group or in your Scout patrol, but between groups or in between patrols. Contact your friends who are not Scouts, for example, involve parents. If you're an adult, contact leaders from other groups. So make this lockdown more enjoyable for you, for your friends, for your Scout group, for your peers. And as it's always really nice to see different people, not only this tiny group or your patrol, 5 people, 10 people, or like 30 people in the soul. So try to involve more people, as many as you can, so that our online life really even for a tiny bit, feels like our offline life, when we can just go out and see more people in the street and ride a subway or ride public transport and see new faces. And it's also a nice way to exchange practices, to connect with other groups, so to stay more united as a region, as an NSO, as like some local level groups in one district. I want to show you this slide, which has a QR code. If you can get your phones to scan it, or if you cannot, there is also a link you can type in your browser. I hope you were inspired now. So if you have any other ideas to share, so that's only about ideas. If you have any questions, please write them in a questions and answers section. If you have any ideas of the activities to share, if you wanna tell us something you want to share which really works, something that really works well in your Scout group or in between your friends, something we can do from home during the lockdown, something we can do online, please use this link and go there and write it down. It's anonymous. You can also leave comments on the post in a Padlet. So use this QR code and please share, so that we can also go there and get inspired, learn some new things, and you can also use this link later on to check out the activities that were added there by people, if there will be some. So far, I can have a look. There's one, evening near the fire, from screen and guitar with all your patrol. Okay, so yeah, that's how I mentioned you can have an evening with the guitar. So for example, in a video call, the members who can play the guitar, they can play the guitar, they can play the songs in turns, and you can have also a nice campfire sound so that you can feel you're in a scout camp playing Battleship. Great. Okay, yeah, we can definitely play some online games. Hello from Malta. Currently we do weekly challenges, it's jumping, and virtual Scout meetings, covering the mastery badges with our group. Challenges so far have done a die bike, which replaced our house of cards. Gosh, writing a letter. Okay, online trip to museum. Now there are too many activities I have. I'm not managing to read one long text. Thank you. Play alphabet game. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Brainstorming, Minecraft camping activity. Writing a letter to yourself. That's also very nice. That's more like an internal reflection, right? You can write a letter to yourself in the future, or for example, what I was thinking recently is to write a letter to yourself after the lockdown, like, hey Nika, good job surviving it, I hope you're fine, like, you know, this kind of things. Just describe the things you really want to do after this whole situation and COVID-19 is over. So that's really also something, a nice thing to do if you want some internal reflection on things. Hello from Armenia. Teach others a skill. Sure thing. Yeah, you can use different resources. Just share your knowledge. That's always a cool thing to do. Sleep. Great. Sharing things we're good at. That's right. Studying and doing homework together. Virtual campfire. Mind games. Virtual Scout meetings on Zoom. Challenges. Studying and doing homework together. That's also a nice thing. Yeah, that's it can be fun. It's definitely more entertaining than doing homework alone and studying alone. And this way you can also exchange knowledge. Notes challenges, read books, singing, culinary contest, making forums. What was that? Making forums about some topic in video chats. Yeah, partying. Zupalulu is a game. Yeah. Great, thank you very much. So, see, you are truly inspired. Hi from Portugal. Zoom video calls. Discussed euthanasia, genetically modified organism, technological evolution. Great. Yeah, that's really about learning new things and discussing some provocative topics that children can really have different opinions on that. So yeah, again, many things you can do. It's just up to you to decide what will fit, what will be interesting for your group, for your kids. Planting plants and watch them grow. That's an amazing activity and a really sustainable one. Plants, that's always great. Fitness, right? So like doing a morning workout, as I said. Speed runs. Great, thank you very much. Okay, so this link will be available after I finish the presentation as well, so you can just have a look afterwards, not only at my presentation, but at this Padlet to see the activities others just gave us, just shared here, to get inspired to write down some things that you find useful here as well. Let's now go back to my presentation so that I can see if there are any questions and any questions in the field of questions and answers. Oops. I will end the screen sharing. Hopefully you see me now, right? So anything here to answer? There are so many questions. Teenagers are often online, so we can use computers, social media, and so on to keep contact with them. But it is often not the case for children under 13, also with parents preferring that their children spend less time with screens. Can you share some ideas of activities we can propose with our groups of scouts under 13 so that they can still do some scouting at home? Well, yeah, if we talk about children under 13, that's definitely the parents you should approach. So start the communication with parents. I guess really if parents know what you want to do with Cub Scouts, right, with younger scouts, if they approve, they will, the young scouts, I don't know, go for a virtual tour to a Louvre museum or something. So again, it's different, it can be different on your situation, but definitely talk to parents. As one of the activities I've heard from people is reading books for Cub Scouts, you know, before going to sleep. So for young people, for young children, your scouts can read books for them. So just, you know, select a person, agree with parents, and just talk about a fairy tale or something. So again, yeah, if we're talking about young people under 13, that's definitely the parents you should talk to. But again, for them, you can you don't need to ask them to be online to participate in the video calls. If their parents are against that, you can just give them the tasks, or like they can participate in the activities in the chat, or like yeah, you can give them the tasks to do offline to discover something new. So there are many ways to deal with that. Thanks for all the great ideas. Greetings from Venezuela. My question is, can these activities be worth as a specialty? I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm not sure. Can you please reformulate it, Leonardo? Sorry, I'm not sure I understand. What are the website? We can go check riddles and mind games. Depends, of course, on your language. Because I don't know really, well, you can explore, you can just type it in Google, right, or any search engine and see. I cannot tell you now, but that's definitely something you should look for in your own language, just to make sure you understand everything. So just, yeah, there are lots of resources online, just type it and look for it online. Can you give the answers of the riddles you posted earlier, please? Yes, I can. So the answer to that sentence, so it was something you have that belongs to you, but you don't use, but others use it often. That's your name, right? Because, for example, my name is Nika. I rarely pronounce my name, but others really use it that often. And there was a picture of a girl. There was a wrong part of one of the toys. Can we get a copy of this presentation? Yes, sure, you can access it in Jota.joti website. So where you found my session to register, if you go there afterwards, you will find a link to watch a recording. Can you re-show the QR? Well, yes, I can. Re-show the QR. Here you are. Hi, 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 hi. Lots of highs. Thank you. Do you have any ideas similar to the scavenger hunt? We are doing Skype meetings with our little ones and they want to run around and do something all the time. Well, I mean, the scavenger hunt is really great. Just try to, yeah, I mean, if they're really little ones, just look for objects that they can find in their room or on their table. It can be not only about finding objects, it can be just about doing things like, for example, draw your leader or draw your best friend, or like make a dove from an origami, make an origami of a dove or something. So any kind of activities. Your session is extraordinaire. Merci. Any suggestions for rover activities during lockdown? Well, I think, like, for example, for me, I'm 27, and a lot of these activities would be super fun and engaging for me. So I think that your rovers might like some of them as well. So just try it out, ask people. Because really, like, the older you are, the more fun it is for you to do like some, you know, some really cool, active, and sometimes a bit stupid things. Do you have any tips on how to motivate your groups about doing online activities? Hi from Brazil. Hi, Isabella. Well, what depends what you mean. For example, if that's something interesting for the group, they will definitely do it. The experience we had in my group, we made a survey, like we noticed that there were not many scouts being engaged and participating in our video calls. So we organized and we made a survey for the parents, so to ask their parents to fill it in and to give us answers what's wrong with that. So is it about homework, so they are really overwhelmed with their homeworks, or it's not really interesting for them what we do, or they don't have time, or the time of the video calls is not suitable for them, so they are not free in the time, and the parents gave us answers. So again, it's up to you how to do it in your situation. Yeah, if you have kids, if that's about the SCAR group, definitely ask the parents. But again, as I mentioned in the beginning, if the whole group, or if people are involved in the activity, in the planning process, they will feel this ownership for the project. So yeah, just ask them what they want to do. Ask the boy, as we say, right? So if they really, like, they usually come up with ideas they want to do themselves. So just let them do it. Let them create the plan. Let them create the program. Can you please smile for a moment? I want to take a screenshot. Yes, sure. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, that was the last question. Thank you very much. That was really, really nice to have you all here, and thank you for all your ideas on my Padlet. You can see the QR code is still here. You can access and share more and look for other ideas, what other people posted. Thank you very much. After the webinar, you will have, after the session, you will have a screen to evaluate the session. Please do it. Leave WASM some feedback so that we know what to change next time. And thank you very much for all the ideas. That was really great to have you all here today or tonight. So thank you very much, and stay healthy. I wish you a good day, a good afternoon, or a good evening, or a good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.